Viewer discretion is advised. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was 2001.
Oh.
Yeah.
This was a tumultuous year. Attacks on the World Trade Center, the premieres of Shrek, Harry Potter, and Ocean's 11.
The
Wow.
deaths of 2 of my grandparents.
Oh,
Oh.
God. I'm so sorry.
They were uptown. It's fine.
Jay Leno was relevant. Rudy Giuliani was Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
He should have quit while he was ahead.
I know.
He literally visited our high school that year.
Yeah.
He did.
I don't think it was 2001 because it was like, for us, that was like 2004. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
2001, we were like freshmen.
Weak handshake.
Yeah.
Not great.
Mm-hmm.
Aaliyah died in a plane crash.
Oh.
Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise broke up.
Oh.
Angelina Jolie open mouth kissed her own brother.
Oh, yeah. That was a weird time.
This was a weird year.
Britney Spears did the iconic Python dance.
Loved.
And our girl Martha Stewart got into some shady shit in the stock market.
That's when that happened?
Okay.
It started in 2001. She wasn't prosecuted until 2004.
Oh, okay.
So for those of you who are either too young to be listening to this podcast at all, or have been living in an M. Night Shyamalan's The Village style environment completely closed off from the outside world, Martha Stewart is an incredibly famous, influencer before influencers were a thing.
Yep.
She elevated herself to the gold standard of interior decorating, cooking, party planning,
Homemaking.
crafting, DIY, and beachfront East Coast housewife fashion of the 90s.
Everyone was into it.
Mm-hmm.
Has her own magazine. She
yeah.
is the white Oprah.
She's an icon. She's written
Yeah.
a fuck ton of best-selling books. She launched Martha Stewart Living as both a magazine and a television show, and she was in basically every single middle to upper class home in America.
Yeah.
you couldn't go to the grocery store without seeing her face.
Martha Stewart Living still slaps.
Oh yeah, sure does.
It really does. Also, so the company that I used to work for, that I'm not going to name by name, but they bought Martha Stewart Living while I was working there. And one of the very first issues of Martha Stewart Living that was published had her as an angel on the cover.
in a costume?
Yes. She's
Wow.
floating in angel
That's a bit
wings.
much.
Yes. And this is the same style as Oprah's old magazine. She got to choose what the fucking cover looked
Oh yeah,
like.
she's on the
Yeah.
cover of all of them. I love it. It's her
It's
magazine. It should be her on the cover.
Embarrassing.
I don't think she's
I
on the
love it.
cover of every single one like
A
Oprah
lot of them,
is,
though.
but she plenty.
If I started my own magazine, you better fucking believe I'd be on the cover of every single issue. Every single one.
That's too true. Yes.
Yeah, and so I'm adding that to my list of life goals. So, though her upbringing was modest, she was the second of 6 kids born to 2 teachers. Her father later went into pharmaceutical sales. She started babysitting at the age of 10 for literal New York Yankees players, including Yogi Berra and Mickey Mantle, which, yes, were the only names on the list I included because they were the only ones I recognized.
They're pretty fucking famous names.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. By the time she was 15, she was booking some modeling gigs, some small commercial pieces for Unilever, which makes basically every soap and shampoo on planet Earth. And Terryton's, quote, smokers would rather fight than switch cigarette ads.
What?
And yes, I will play the jingle for you now. Also, go to the drive while you're listening to this, and there is a screenshot, a photo of Martha Stewart, and I don't ask any questions because I will explain it. You're gonna have questions when you see it. In this cigarette ad. That's her.
I do have questions.
I promise I will answer your questions. Here's the jingle.
What gives Terryton the taste worth fighting for? Worth fighting for. The bright, inviting taste worth fighting for. Worth fighting for. Terryton's got a charcoal tip and it's got a white one too. Together they improve that great tobacco taste for you.
Us Terryton smokers would rather fight.
Then switch. Join the unswitchable smoke Terryton.
Fight what?
I will tell you.
Oh, okay.
And they have a charcoal filter.
And a white tip, too. So, yeah. She
that's
says,
the
quote,
black eye.
yeah, exactly. She said, quote, I did a Terryton I'd rather fight than switch commercial, you know? This is in a 2004 interview with Larry King. And then I practiced smoking. I tried to smoke for a week. And when I finally made the commercial, all I had to do was hold the cigarette. So this is the most disturbing as fuck ad campaign. The models had black eye makeup to portray their willingness to be punched in the face rather than switch their cigarette brand.
I don't like anything about this.
The 60s were insane.
Wild.
Yeah.
That
It
was
was
a very
indeed the
popular
60s.
ad.
Oh my
wow.
God.
Is it?
I gotta say, she was a babe.
Oh yeah.
Babe. Still is.
Yeah, still is. She looks great. But yeah, that there's that like model photo of her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, she's a smoke show.
She learned how to cook and sew from her mother and learned how to can and preserve food from her grandparents. She developed her affinity for gardening from her father, who was very passionate about his garden. She enrolled at Barnard College of Columbia University, pursuing a degree in chemistry. But as her knowledge and love for art grew, she decided to switch majors and studied art, history, and architectural history. She actually,
and
Jill of all
waffle.
trades.
Yeah, she has,
she's
like-
really fucking smart.
she's really smart. She has either like her master's or at least her major in architectural history. She knows a lot of shit. She attended college on scholarships and also supplemented by the money from her part-time modeling and ad gigs. So like that cigarette money put her through college. She even landed a gig with Chanel. So she had some like
Real modeling.
pretty good gigs. They were paying like $50 an hour, which
Yeah,
this was
wow.
in the 60s.
That was like a semester's tuition.
and pretty much at like Cornell.
Right.
She was doing quite well.
A month's rent.
Yeah, pretty much. So
God.
for school and work, she was introduced to Andrew Stewart, a law student at Yale, and the two fell in love and got married in 1961. They eventually got divorced. I'm not focusing on her love life. She's had lots of fun dating, whatever.
What
I
was
heard her give an
um,
interview not that long, like a few years ago, where she was talking about her dating life and how hard it is because she just really, she doesn't care
She's supposed to be
about.
left alone.
She doesn't care about like money or whatever, but they have to be on her level, and like she really would prefer someone with their own plane.
Yeah. That would be preferable. I also would really prefer that.
Yeah, can relate.
Like it's not about money. It's
Will
just
he
we have
share?
to be able to see eye to eye on private planes.
I think this is really going to be a true partnership. I
Travel
can't be the
separately.
only one with my own plane
Yeah.
What
You
was
need
her-
2 bathrooms to keep a marriage alive
and your own plane.
and 2 planes.
What was her maiden name?
I don't remember.
Oh,
I didn't.
I'm
include
just
it.
curious. I'm gonna Google it.
I actually
she's Polish, so it's something fun.
I know somebody whose parents are John Stewart and
No.
Martha Stewart.
John and Martha Stewart.
Are you
That's
serious?
Really cute.
Oh
I
my
love
god.
that.
Her maiden name was Kostira. Kostira. Yes, Polish. Okay.
So when we think about Martha Stewart in a criminal sense, the first thing that comes to mind is insider trading, which is legit because she definitely did this. In 2001, Martha was trading shares in a company called I'm Clone, which is a terrifying name for a company. And I wish that, we, the three of us, had been consulted because we're clearly great at naming companies.
I'm clone.
I am CLONE, all one word. I'm Clone. I hate it.
So
According to
bad.
Wikipedia, I'm Clone was a biopharmaceutical company dedicated to developing biologic medicines in the area of oncology.
Which you would not get from the
I'm
name.
Clone. Yeah. It was founded in 1984 and had its corporate headquarters in Bridgewater, New Jersey, and its research headquarters in New York City. On October 6th, 2008, it accepted a $6.5 billion acquisition offer from Eli Lilly and Company and became a fully owned subsidiary of Eli Lilly and Company on November 24, 2008. Prior to the acquisition, it was traded on the NASDAQ stock exchange under the symbol IMCL, I'm Clone. I'm Clone lost its separate identity in 2014 when its former I'm Clone
When its
research.
clone fought back.
Yeah, when I'm Clones returned.
When Terrytown's clone fought back.
Pretty much. When its former I'm Clone research and manufacturing sites were renamed Eli Lilly and Company. And Eli Lilly is the Unilever of
Huge.
pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Like, they make fucking everything. My
Yep.
insulin is from them. I am powered by Eli Lilly.
I am cloned by Eli
I'm
Lilly.
Clone. So Martha wasn't making all of her own financial decisions, obviously, because rich people pay other rich people to give them, quote, advice on their investments, to like just turn their money into more money.
Right.
They make predictions. All of that is legal. Like, using public information to make stock predictions is totally fine. But when you start getting information that isn't public and making investments on or selling stock based on that information, that is insider trading.
That is the line for me that is like
Mm-hmm.
all of them
Yeah.
are doing
Doing it.
insider trading. It's
Yeah.
We
just
covered
who's getting
this in
caught.
fucking whatever pandemic crimes. People fucking
Didn't we do
selling
an
or buying
insider
stock.
trading episode?
Well,
I
I
think so, but
talked
Kenyon
about
covered those senators.
Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, who's running again.
Mhm.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
So in 2001, I'm Clone was working on this new experimental drug called Erbitux, which sounds like something for hemorrhoids. I can't.
Ew.
It sounds like a prom tuxedo made out of, but like it looks like a woolly suit.
Yeah. But what it actually is a monoclonal antibody treatment for advanced head and neck cancer of a specific type, specifically squamous cell carcinoma.
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
Super cute. At the time, this was new and still in its testing stages, but expected to be a big advancement in the treatment of cancer. However, this treatment was not approved by the Food and Drug Administration yet, and the company was awaiting clearance while they were in testing. It's fairly common for new treatments to be submitted to the FDA and not approved for several rounds. When this happens, stock typically falls, at least temporarily, as a result of the failed approval and having to go back to the drawing board and then like resubmit.
It's a slow process.
Yep. One of the founders of I'm Clone got wind that the FDA was not going to approve Erbitux and did exactly what he is not supposed to do and advised his friends and family to sell their stock before the FDA made their rejection public. He was arrested for this.
Not legal.
So from harbert.auburn.edu, quote, investigations revealed that after learning the FDA would refuse to review Erbitux, Sam Waxel, the CEO of I'm Clone and a close friend of Martha Stewart, instructed his broker, Peter Bakanovich, who is also Stewart's broker, to transfer $4.9 million in stock to the account of his daughter, Eliza Waxel. His daughter also requested that Bakanovich sell $2.5 million of her own I'm Clone stock.
It's not when you're the CEO of the company and you start to do the insider trading, that's a little obvious.
Little on the nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Run it
Sam-
through a couple other channels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what he tried to do through his daughter.
But that's
Well,
a
not
stupid
enough
move.
channels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Waxel then tried to sell the shares he had transferred to his daughter, but was blocked by brokerage firm Merrill Lynch. Phone records indicate that Bakanovich called Martha Stewart's office, this is her broker, on December 27th, shortly after Waxel's daughter dumped her shares. Stewart's stock was sold 10 minutes later.
Not
This was
good.
obviously sus.
Not good. Not
Martha,
good.
What a
Not good.
Go
coincidence.
to a cocktail party, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make it look, I don't know. It's so dumb. Anyway, Martha repeatedly denied any wrongdoing, claiming that she had an agreement with her broker to sell the shares if they went below a certain price, and any information that Sam Waxel offered to Peter Bakanovich was unknown to her. However, Bakanovich's assistant testified that he had been explicitly instructed to tip Martha off.
Because they
So
were
again-
friends.
Yeah, because they're buddies. Again, from Harvard Auburn, quote, Douglas Faneuil, the broker's assistant who handled the sale of the I'm Clone stock for Stewart, told Merrill Lynch lawyers that his boss, Peter Bakanovich, had pressured him to lie about a stop-loss order. So the stop-loss order is sell anything that dips below XYZ. Although he initially backed Stewart's story, he later told prosecutors that Bakanovich prompted him to advise Stewart that the Waxel family members were dumping their stock and that she should consider doing the same. During interviews with law enforcement officials, Faniel said, quote, "I did not truthfully reveal everything I knew about the actions of my immediate supervisor and the true reason for the sales." He reportedly received money or other valuables for hiding his knowledge from investigators. So he lied at first because he was coerced into doing so to keep him quiet. Faniel pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge on October 2nd as part of all of these charges. This testimony of his was enough to file charges against Martha, so Martha was charged with securities fraud, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy in 2003 and went to trial in 2004.
I'm shocked that it was just this one case and she got her ass sent to prison.
Yeah.
Because some people, I feel like, do this all the time.
I mean, we'll kind of get to that, but also like making an example
Right.
of
It was such a
very
high
famous
profile-
people.
yeah.
Right.
is gonna play a role here.
I just feel like, and I know I just said this, but like rich people investing in their rich friends' businesses, like that is insider trading.
Mm-hmm, kind of.
It's also super normal and common.
I don't get it.
The
I just
area
don't
does get
it.
gray, but if you're making investments based on information that's not available to the public, and obviously, like, there are differences because, like, investing in startups or companies of friends before they're on, like, the public stock exchange, you're taking a risk. Like, we're not publicly traded.
Well,
now,
yeah.
we don't have any investors, but, like, technically we could have investors and we're not publicly traded, and all of that would be based on whatever private pitch
We're just
we
telling
give.
people.
Yeah, we're just telling people, but then that comes with its own level of risk for the investor.
Right.
We've talked about how the stock market makes no sense and we don't get it, and it is what it is.
There are people who like just follow Nancy Pelosi's trades like in real time and just do exactly what she does because she like consistently beats the market.
There you go.
Ooh.
It's
I
not
mean, her
good.
trades are public knowledge, so
It's
you can
not
make
good.
your
It
own
happens on
predictions
both
based on
sides of
that.
the aisle. It's fucking. I hate it.
It's all fucking trash.
Yeah.
So though we all assume Martha was convicted for insider trading, she actually wasn't convicted on that specific charge. Likely because it was a he said, she said situation, so this wasn't added to her criminal charges. But she did have to pay $195,000 to settle a civil case with the Securities and Exchange Commission. In her criminal case, she was found guilty of conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and lying to federal investigators in March of 2004.
So it was the cover up that nailed her.
Yep. The securities fraud charge related to allegedly boosting the stock of her own company was dismissed. Here is a breakdown of the charges that she was found guilty of. So, conspiracy. Stewart was found to have conspired with her broker, Peter Bakanovich, to obstruct justice and make false statements in the I'm Clone insider trading investigation. Obstruction of justice. Stewart was found to have tried to hamper the SEC investigation of her stock sale by providing misleading information and attempting to tamper with a phone message from Bakanovich.
Oh.
So, like,
deleted a voicemail, basically.
Okay.
And then Peter flipped
Yep.
and she got nailed.
Yep. Lying to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the FBI, and federal prosecutors when she claimed she had prearranged with her broker to sell her I'm Clone stock when it fell below $60 per share.
And basically, she just couldn't prove that. And then Peter said that
Precisely.
that's not the case. And so
Yeah.
you got to get everything in writing.
She was also found to have lied about not recalling being told that the family of I'm Clone founder Samuel Waxel was selling stocks. She's like, I didn't know about that. The lying is also included in the obstruction of justice charge, specifically for this. Quote, Stewart and Bakanovich could not provide proof that a stop-loss order existed. Congressional investigators for the U.S. House of Representatives Energy and Commerce Committee could not find any credible record of such an order between Stewart and her broker. However, portions of the documents presented to the committee were unreadable because they were blacked out. So she redacted half of it.
Not suspicious at all.
Yeah. Stewart's lawyers later agreed to return to Capitol Hill with unedited documents. The committee did not call Martha Stewart to testify in front, as her lawyers had made it clear that she would invoke her Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. I'm sorry, I'm drunk. Investigators who had been negotiating unsuccessfully with Stewart's lawyers to arrange for her voluntary testimony came to believe that Stewart had been stonewalling and would not cooperate. Many wondered if Miss Stewart had been straight about her story, then why would she like not tell it under oath?
Because
Why wouldn't she just testify?
Because you should always invoke the fifth. You should never testify in your own defense. It's never going to go well.
Never
It's
gonna.
always a setup.
Yeah.
So the conviction resulted in a
Unless you're a member of the Trump family, and then you really should
Get
tell
up there.
your side of the story.
I want to know your side. It's
That
just
is
it's only
your
fair.
chance. Think of all the
America needs to
Needs
hear
to know.
it.
It's
Think
your
of all
right.
the attention you'll get in the press.
And nobody can tell it as well as you can. So, like, don't let anyone twist your words. You should tell your own story.
What do those lawyers know anyway?
Yeah, they don't. You're the smartest one ever. You're the smartest,
one in the
room.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sing your truth, honey.
exactly.
Your
Speak
white
your truth.
Christian truth.
Live your truth. So the conviction resulted in a 5-month prison sentence, followed by 5 months of house arrest and 2 years of probation. I would love to be on house arrest in Martha Stewart's house.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It would be
got
amazing.
to like scrub
So many
all her
crafts.
copper pans.
Yeah.
So much wassail.
Oh, yum. Stewart maintained she was innocent, but was confined to the minimum security Alderson Federal Prison Camp in West Virginia in October of 2004. I did so much Googling of like Martha Stewart prison photos and Martha Stewart mugshot. It has been scourged from the internet.
She has
They
paid
gone.
a lot of very smart people
To get rid of all of it. I
wipe
would need to
that
go on like the black market to fucking find these pictures.
Yeah.
If you can find them, tweet them to me, please. Quote, ironically, Martha Stewart could have sold her I'm Clone stock on December 31st after the FDA announcement instead of December 27th, 10 minutes after her tip-off, and collected $180,000 in profit without raising any concerns. That's only $48,000 less than what she gained through the earlier sale.
Yeah, you
So-
just wait for that. You
To be
know
public.
the announcement is coming, so the second it hits, you can
Sell.
sell.
Yeah.
Before other people hear the news. That's
Yep.
fine, as long as the news is available.
It's
But yeah,
not that
she
hard.
Slow
said
your fucking roll.
she quote unquote saved $48,000, but then lost 5 months in prison, had to pay almost $200,000 to the SEC. Like, it's not, you didn't save anybody. You fucked yourself over. Although Stewart denied any wrongdoing, the scandal sliced more than 70% off the stock price of Omni Media, which is her company that manages like Martha Stewart Living, everything.
All her books,
Yeah.
her show.
And that's her publicly traded company. And according to one estimate, washed away more than a quarter of her net worth. Before the scandal, Stewart had an estimated net worth of $650 million. And it allegedly in that time washed away a quarter of that.
I feel like she must have bounced back.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Oh, the bitch bounced back.
She also had to step down as the director of Omni Media as a result of her charges, but she came back.
But she sold off all of her stock in Omni
Yep.
before it became public what her sentence was.
I would. I mean, okay.
10 minutes before.
But you can't keep Martha down for long. In fact, her career has had a major resurgence in the last few years, and she has taken not only the scandal, but some family drama on the cheek and used it to create some new opportunities. Even if she actually hates it, whatever her PR team is having her do, it's brilliant.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Her partnership with Snoop Dogg
We're
is
gonna get to it.
the best
It's the
marketing
best.
scheme of the
Yep.
21st century.
It's not even a
Both of them.
scheme. They're like actually friends. We're about to dive into it all.
Whatever
So
it
she-
is, it's amazing.
It's working. She released, quote, The Martha Rules in 2005, right after her prison time. This book was an instruction manual on how to start your own business and hopefully stay out of jail in the process.
She basically just was like, I'm gonna have a sense of humor about this or pretend to consistently and
Yep.
just take it on the cheek and
Yep.
like,
Rebrand myself.
yeah, fuck it.
It's great.
It's really great. She rejoined her company, Omni Media, formed an incredible partnership and friendship with Snoop Dogg when he appeared on The Martha Stewart Show in 2008, and they bonded over making mashed potatoes. From
Imagine
insider.
being the like low level producer who was like, I don't know, we got to fill this slot. I don't know.
Snoop
Yeah,
Dogg,
get me
I
Snoop
guess
Dogg.
he's in town.
And then they just changed celebrity
Forever, pretty much.
Celebridom.
From Insider.com, quote, they teamed up again for a Christmas episode in which they made green brownies. Stewart jokes with Snoop about why he wants green brownies, to which he replies that green is, quote, environmental. He also asks Stewart when they're adding, quote, the stuff, and she just says later to lots of laughs. They clearly hit it off from the start, but Martha expressed interest in getting to know him better on a Reddit AMA hosted in 2014. From there, their friendship took off on Twitter, much to the public's enjoyment, even sitting together on stage at the 2015 roast of Justin Bieber.
I've
Like, they
seen
just
this.
ended
I've
up in the
watched
weirdest
this.
places together. The two teamed up in 2016 on TV's The $100,000 Pyramid. In 2016, they hosted Martha and Snoop's potluck dinner party on VH1. Martha wrote the foreword for Snoop's own cookbook in 2018 titled From Crook to Cook, Platinum Recipes from the Boss Dog's Kitchen. BRB while I buy this immediately. And in 2021, they put out Snoop and Martha's Very Tasty Halloween on Netflix. It's literally like just the gift that keeps on giving.
It's just accelerating.
It's so good.
It's everyone is not over it.
Yep.
It is still amusing, and
It's
they're
so good.
just capitalizing on it.
Well, and Snoop Dogg has even said in interviews that like this partnership with Martha Stewart also normalized in a lot of ways, like quote unquote rap lifestyle, and like introduced people who watch daytime television.
yeah,
to-
a lot of moms were
Yes.
like
To a
suddenly
culture that they
okay
had
with
absolutely
their kids buying those CDs.
right, that to a culture that they had absolutely no experience with, and
then
it
he
opened up a lot of
gets
doors.
The Super Bowl halftime show.
Pretty much. Yeah. So, likely influenced by Snoop, Martha joined the board of Canopy Growth, a Canadian-based cannabis company, and does a lot of advertising for them. And despite her daughter Alexis making some not too kind claims about her in the tell-all book Whateverland, Learning to Live Here, which Kenyon has a copy of.
Didn't you get me that for
I did.
Secret
Secret Santa.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
I love it.
Sure did. Wherein Alexis claimed that, quote, if I didn't do something perfectly, I had to do it again. I grew up with a glue gun pointed at my head, end
Oh
quote.
my God.
It's so fucking dramatic. She also wrote these. I'm just ending this with some incredible quotes from this fucking book, which when you're done reading it, now I want to read it because I feel like it might be like,
Pass it around. I want to read it too.
these
great.
quotes make it sound like a very privileged person complaining, but I mean,
think
I'm
she
sure it
had-
wasn't perfect.
An incredibly type A perfectionist
Mother.
mother
Duh.
who was also a business woman
Right.
at a time when that wasn't as common.
Right.
And I'm sure that they butted heads. Like if you learn about Alexis's wedding, she wore like a gray day suit or something. Like
Just to piss off her mom.
oh, it was like
I'm obsessed.
Oh my God, I remember this.
Alexis Stewart.
The
wedding.
drama between them is so
It's my
fucking good.
It's like
Favorite.
palpable through the tabloids.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Wedding.
It was just to piss off her.
Are you putting a picture of her wedding outfit on the drive?
Literally, it's not even like a wedding suit would be great. Oh my God, I love
This
it.
is not bridal at all. Please tell me you're
It's the
adding
most
it to the drive.
courthouse.
Where am I supposed to send this? Okay, I'll add it to the drive.
I want it on the blog. Please
Like her
put it
mom
in the
was
drive.
present
Right.
at the wedding, which was at the courthouse. But it
Oh
was
my
like
God.
the anti-wedding.
Yes.
Oh, she looks like a lawyer on her first day at work.
It's like a full-on
it's
blazer.
a double.
Where did you
It's
put
a
it?
double-breasted
In your picture.
blazer
Oh, I see
blazer.
it. Oh,
with
wow.
like shoulder pads.
It's incredible.
And
I love this.
Martha has a boutonniere, but Alexis does not.
She looks like she's pretending she's cosplaying as a lawyer. That is the outfit.
Her hair is just down.
from the 80s.
Yes.
I love it. I love an
Gray.
understated
She looks
wedding
great.
moment. Not
She's
for
a
me,
beautiful
but-
woman. Yeah, a beautiful person, but yeah.
That is not a blushing bride outfit.
No, that does not. It's not giving me bridal.
Isn't that amazing? It's my
So-
favorite.
Here are some other quotes.
And Martha's in this photo is whispering in her ear, "You fucking
You did this just to hurt me.
Yeah, why would you do this to mother?
Like my mom when I decided not to do printed wedding invitations and
yeah.
she didn't talk to me for 2 weeks.
She called me to bitch about that. I was like, I've got nothing to do with this.
I am not part of this. She also wrote in the book, quote, "There was never anything to eat at my house. Other people had food. I had no food. There were ingredients, but no prepared foods of any kind." So she like wanted to go to the cupboard and get goldfish, but Martha was like, "Fuck no, we're gonna make our own goldfish.
She just wanted a snack.
I'm gonna grind the meal and then we're gonna season our own goldfish,
All
and you'll
I
have your
want are
goldfish
some
in a
snack wells.
Yeah.
Mom.
You'll have your goldfish in an hour." Martha seems to keep climbing to the top, even at the fabulous age of 80. And I will leave you with my.
Fucking 80?
She's 80.
She looks amazing.
She really does.
She
My
uses
God.
heavy blurring filters
Oh,
on
yeah.
Instagram. It's incredible.
And on Martha Stewart Living,
But-
like on her show. She's
Holy
basically in a cloud.
shit, she's 80?
Yeah.
She's 80. Yeah, she looks great.
Mm-hmm. And
But
dating.
I'll leave you now with my favorite quote from Alexis's book. Quote, "Mother always peed with the door open." Mother.
Imagine being famous and then your kid writes a tell-all book about you.
Why do you think I'm not having kids? Just in
It's
case.
not even that she's famous. She's fucking Martha Stewart.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like
Everything
iconic.
is
That's not
perfect.
even.
This is
Just
how
Mother
you
always peed
embroider
with the door
and hem
open.
your own floral curtains for the sunroom.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine having a sunroom? I would love a sunroom.
Yeah.
My grandparents had a sunroom. And
Locked?
it was my favorite place. And it also had one of those TVs that
solarium.
sat on the floor that was
Love.
7,000 pounds.
It was
Like in its own
Furniture.
console,
And
like
you
a wooden
change-
console.
Yes, it was like encased in like a wooden thing. And you change the channel like chunk, 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 chunk.
Yeah.
We had that TV in the unfinished basement
Yeah.
at my house in Minnetonka.
Yes. Yes, you
Loved
did.
that. And we always got like a universal remote for it, and I always lost it.
You had
Every
like
time.
rigged up like a VCR.
Oh yeah,
But like jankily
Hot-wired.
plugged into it because it wasn't
Hot-wired.
made for extra appliances.
We could
It
get the
was
Nintendo
before
64 to
VCR.
play on that fucking thing. We figured it out. I'm basically an engineer.
Little tinfoil.
Yeah,
Good.
let's go. It got like
Conduct.
15 channels. Let's go.
13 never worked.
Martha would tell you how to do that.
She
but
would. Anyway, that's my case.
Holy shit.
I love her.
Wow.
Amazing.
Technically not pink color crime, but I love where your head's
It's a white. Well, okay. To be fair, the first time I looked at the drive, it was just collar crimes.
True. Kenyon made us change it.
I wanted it to be more specific.
I like it. But I understood the assignment, but this is what I get for getting ahead. Well, I sure hope you liked that clip. If you did like that clip, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving us a nice review, and joining us on Patreon for even more video content, audio content, salacious content all around. Come join us. Treat yourself.